Hey ghouls and goblins, welcome back to another edition of Are You Afraid of the Dark Reviews, where we take a look at all things spooky. Today we're diving into one of the most iconic episodes from the show, The Tale of Laughing in the Dark. This episode introduced us to the unofficial mascot of Are You Afraid of the Dark, Zeebo the Clown. But does this flame still burn bright, or has it been reduced to ash? Let's dive in and find out. The Tale of Laughing in the Dark first aired on August 22nd, 1992, and was the third episode of the show's very first season, and quickly became a fan favorite. The story centers on a kid named Josh who's all about making sure he looks cool in front of his friends despite getting scared easily. His friends, Kathy and Ouija, dare him to go into the haunted funhouse. This funhouse, Laughing in the Dark, has a spooky history. It's supposedly haunted by the spirit of Zeebo, a clown who stole money from the circus, hid in the funhouse, and accidentally set the place on fire with his own cigar. Classic cautionary tale, right? Now it's said that Zeebo still haunts the building, and anyone who messes with him ends up regretting it. Josh's cockiness hits a high when he steals Zeebo the Clown's nose as proof that he's not scared. But of course, that's where the real trouble begins. Strange things happen back at home with cigar smoke lingering in the air, mysterious footprints, and even a threatening phone call, all pointing back to Zeebo. This story is all about how Josh has to face the fear he pretended he didn't have, and it's a perfect setup for a kid's horror story. After all, who hasn't had that one friend who bit off more than they could chew just to prove they weren't scared? What really stands out about this episode is how well it uses classic horror elements. Unlike some of the show's other villains, Zeebo doesn't appear that much on screen, and we only get glimpses of his creepy influence. The idea of an unseen, ghostly presence in Josh's home, leaving behind traces of cigar smoke, gives the episode an eerie, old-school haunted house vibe that feels both real and larger than life. The funhouse itself is an incredible setting. It's dark, grimy, and filled with all kinds of unsettling carnival decorations. There's a sense of claustrophobia as the characters walk through it, surrounded by mirrors, dark hallways, and the creepy animatronic version of Zeebo at the end, laughing maniacally. And let's not forget the sound design. The laughter of Zeebo echoes throughout the episode, following Josh even when he's miles away from the funhouse. It's one of those little details that make the character feel like he's always one step ahead, waiting for just the right moment to strike. Zeebo's design is pretty minimal, let's say, but that's what makes him so effective. He doesn't have to be an elaborate monster. He's scary because he represents the simple fear of being pursued and of facing consequences of your actions. His character taps into something timeless, like the fear of clowns or that classic ghost story trope of an evil spirit getting revenge. It's enough to make any kid think twice about being too cocky the next time they dare to do something spooky. Here's a fun fact. Zeebo first appeared in the Halloween episode of Erie, Indiana in 1991. You can see a kid who wears a mask that will become Zeebo in Are You Afraid of the Dark a year later. And Zeebo himself is referenced in several other episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark. For example, in the episode The Tale of the Whispering Walls, two kids mention seeing him at a fun park. Or in the episode The Tale of the Mystical Mirror, a girl says she'll look like Zeebo if she wears too much lipstick. When Josh finally realizes he's in over his head, he makes things right by returning the nose and apologizing. It's a classic horror morale about respecting things you don't understand and taking responsibility for your own actions. It's a simple ending, but it sticks with you because Josh isn't necessarily braver by the end. He's just learned a lesson about pushing his luck. So, is The Tale of Laughing in the Dark still worth watching? Absolutely. This episode has all the ingredients of a classic horror story, a creepy setting, a memorable villain, and a relatable moral lesson about respecting your fears and thinking twice before you act. For anyone who grew up with Are You Afraid of the Dark, Zeebo is probably one of the first villains you remember, and with a good reason. The story may be simple, but it's timeless, and does a lot with just a few scenes and clever storytelling. If you're a fan of creepy clowns, haunted fun houses, or just want a blast from the past, this episode is a must-watch. That's it for today's review. Let me know in the comments below if Zeebo ever haunted your nightmares, or you laughed with him. As always, you can let me know what episode I should do next, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for future videos. I've been that Goosebumps guy, and until next time, stay spooky.